Hey everybody, it is Daniel here for Mobile Syrup, and this is the phone that everybody's been waiting for. It is the Galaxy S2, and this is the follow-up to the very successful Galaxy S Vibrant, released last summer from Bell, and this is quite the beast. So we're going to take you through the software and the hardware, and do a quick comparison with one of the other hot phones on the market, the HTC Sensation 4G. So let's take a look. Okay, so here is the front of the device. This is a 4.3-inch 800 by 480 resolution Super AMOLED Plus display. You can see when the screen's off, the blacks are completely black, and that makes for some excellent contrast. It also makes for a really nice aesthetic because there's a continuity between the actual hardware and the screen, which is not there on a lot of other devices. So we'll take you around the side of the device. It's actually a very thin device. It's 8.7 millimeters at its thinnest point, which is actually thinner than the iPhone 4 and one of the nicest devices that I've had the pleasure of using. So let's go through it. On the left-hand side of the device, we have this volume rocker here. You can barely see it. It just protrudes a little bit, but it has a nice clickiness to it. On the bottom of the device, we have the micro USB charger and a microphone. Right hand side of the device, we have the power button. Now this is a Samsung staple. It's on most of their modern devices. And on the top of the device there is the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. And on the back of the device we have the 8 megapixel camera with LED flash and this nice textured battery cover here with Samsung logo. You see there is a bit of a lip here, chin if you will, but it's not as pronounced as the one on the Nexus S or the Galaxy S Vibrant, and that makes for a really nice contoured phone, and feels much better to hold in the hand. It's weighted better as well, even though it's only 116 grams. It still feels like it's got some heft, and despite the fact that it's all plastic, it actually feels more solid than the original Galaxy S, and that's due to the fact that the battery cover comes off only part way from the whole of the device, and you see this part here doesn't come off, and that gives it a little bit more solid feel when you are holding it and squeezing it in your hand. So to show you, battery cover comes off just like that. It's a thin piece of plastic, but it's very, very pliable and goes right back to the way that it was when it started. You can't really bend it. You can go all the way like that. It just snaps right back. So be careful not to break it, but this is not going to break as easily as it looks. There's a 1600 milliamp hour battery in here, and it supports an external micro SD card, though it does come with 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and of course it is locked to Bell. So there's that, and you just stick the battery cover back on like that. You see I bent it a little bit, but obviously no worse for the wear. Alright, so let's turn it on. See, the screen has some awesome contrast, and this is the default lock screen. Just flick it like this. I forgot to mention a couple things, my mistake. On the front of the device there's a 2 megapixel front-facing camera as well as some sensors. This is the headpiece. You have a tactile home button like there was on the Galaxy S, and 2 capacitive touch buttons. You have the menu button on the left and the back button on the home. There is no dedicated search button on this particular device. So you unlock the phone right here, and you are met with TouchWiz 4. Now this is the follow-up to TouchWiz 3 that was on the original Galaxy S. This runs Android 2.3.3, and you can see it's a very similar look to it, kind of a vibrant, cartoony-like icon set here with a horizontal approach to going through your apps. You see it just goes right back to where it was, and you can also scroll like this, that way. Actually, there's a lot of improvements here in terms of usability. Let's go back to the home screen. First and foremost, you have this helicopter view that's accessible here, and you can also move around your different screens like that. There are a few widgets which are resizable, so when you get a widget that you want to move, for example, you just move it over here to the next screen, and there's a grid and it will show you exactly where it can go. Now for this one, if you want, we can edit it. When you hold it down, you can actually minimize it to a specific size depending on how much screen size you want it to take up. Very intuitive, very easy, and something that does not come with most Android devices, and it's much appreciated. So you have a few pre-installed apps here from Bell. You have TV and radio, you have the GPS navigator and self-serve. You also have a few Samsung apps that come preloaded, such as the photo editor and the video editor. You also have a voice recorder and AllShare, which is a DLNA service, as well as Keys Air, which allows you to browse content from the phone on your home PC by hooking into your Wi-Fi network, which is really cool. And there are 4 hubs here. There's the social hub, which you can use to aggregate all of your social media services. You have Gmail, you have Hotmail, Yahoo, as well as Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can also set up your IMs, and it will all be consolidated under one service like this, feeds and messages. Really convenient, and it plays into the messaging app as well. So you see here, now that I have the messaging app open, you can choose your contacts. You see here, it shows you your full list of contacts like this. You can scroll through letters, very easy and convenient. It also aggregates their pictures from Google if you have any. You can set people up into groups and favorites, which is really convenient. Going back to the messaging app, the keyboard is now multi-touch, which is really nice, and that means that you can hold down Shift and press, H, for example. It's also much bigger due to the fact that the screen is 4.3 inches, and you can go right into the settings over here, and you can set things up like predictive text, keypad sweeping, voice input, all really, really nice and useful features. At the same time, if you want, you can change this. Now let me get back in there. It actually comes pre-installed with Swipe, which is another really handy feature, and that is the very familiar keyboard that people love because you can swipe it back and forth. So the boy went to the store. There you go. So not bad at all. Let's get out of there and let's go on to the next one. You can also swipe through the pages like this, which is very cool. I really like that. So let's go into the calling app here, and you see it's a very similar interface to the original Galaxy S. It also supports video calling. If you have anybody else with a Samsung phone, you can create a video call natively on the phone just like that. It comes with a few pre-installed demos. There's Nova and Uno, as well as a link to top Gameloft games. It comes with Zoom Pass, which is a collaborative effort between all the top 3 carriers to combine a payment service that's really convenient. It also comes with a few widgets pre-installed. I actually loaded these on. There's a quick voice command, voice talk, and driving mode widget, which is very cool. There's a shortcut to get into voice command mode. You just double click anywhere on the home screen. Let's get out of this. So this is loaded pre-installed on the device, and it's powered by Vlingo, which is a very familiar software that is available free on the Android marketplace and iOS, and and BlackBerry as well. And it's very convenient. You just double tap on the home button at any time, and you can say call mom, call home, send message, for example. This other widget here is a kind of an altered power widget that comes standard on all Android devices. You can adjust the brightness as well as turn on Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and some other things here. It's actually scrollable, which is nice. One thing I want to point out here is that highest brightness setting is really nice and bright, though it's not as bright as some of the other phones that I've looked at recently. It's still excellent. It also comes with a task manager to kill any apps that you want to get rid of. 837 megabytes of RAM available out of the 1 gigabyte that's installed on here. Really, really nice. You can also close applications to get rid of any RAM that is not available, and that will also allow you to close any apps here or uninstall them straight from this app. You have about 2 gigabytes of system storage available to you when you start the device, excuse me. So that's a nice convenient thing. I'm going to benchmark this in the comparison, so we'll look out for that. The other thing is the internet here is really fast on Bell's network. This is a HSPA Plus supported device, and it runs really nicely, and it has a couple nice features that I just want to point out. So let's load up the NewYorkTimes.com, and you see there that is the command that comes up when you first use the internet. It's tilt, and I'll show you that in just a second. We can use motion, and what that does, this actually is the mobile site and it doesn't support pinch to zoom. So normally when a website loads up, you have obviously the option to pinch to zoom, and just check out how smooth that is. The other way that you can do it is by holding your 2 fingers on the screen at once and tilting the device, just like that. Not the most, usable or necessary function, but definitely appreciated. Another thing that you can do is in the gallery, you can, there's actually no items there. So let me save an image. So I hold that down. I'm going to save image. It's going to load in the background. You can see while we're at it, the notification bar looks a little bit different because this is running 2.3.3 Gingerbread, and it's blacked out the way that Gingerbread traditionally is. You also have your quick settings up at the top here, and you can clear that. So let's go back now to the gallery so I can show you the functionality inside the gallery as well. So you have that one image here, and you load it up, and you get the same thing again. So I can tilt this picture just like that, and just look how fast and smooth that is. This is a 1.2 gigahertz dual core processor inside of here, which is really nice and speedy. The other thing you can do inside the browser is pinch to zoom out, and this will give you access to opening up a new tab, which is really nice and convenient as well. Next thing I want to show you is the camera software. This comes with an 8 megapixel camera. It takes really nice shots, and the UI is also really attractive. You have your settings on the left hand side here. You can take auto flash, you can turn auto flash on or off. You can set up a shooting mode, and there's a lot of them here. You also can set up a scene mode depending on the lighting conditions. You can adjust exposure. You can adjust the resolution. This is 8 megapixel. It can go to 6.5 or 3.2 depending on if you want to share it on the internet or not. And you adjust ISO, metering, anti-shake, blink detection, review. One of the interesting features about this that I'm not so happy with, take a picture and the review comes up, but it actually doesn't go away, which is a little bit inconvenient. You actually have to press the back button whenever you want to get back to the camera. So I'd recommend just not reviewing them right after you take the shot. Come on. There we go. A little bit of lag there. Okay, so take off review. And I'm going to, you can actually touch the screen to focus. Let me try that again. Not sure why that's not working. Excuse me. You can touch the screen to focus. Also sends out a flash to adjust the white balance, and you can take the shot just like that. Take shots really, really quickly. Same with video. This supports 1080p video in excellent quality, but it defaults to 720 by 480. You can adjust that to 1920 by 1080, and this is about 17 megabits per second, or 17 megabits in terms of bandwidth, which is really high quality stuff. Okay, so that's that. That's the camera app. Music, pretty similar, very basic. You can adjust quick lists, most played, recently played. You also, in the hub, the music hub is actually powered by 7 Digital, which is a really nice alternative to iTunes, and it's installed natively here. It gives you updates on some of the new albums. For example, you can download single songs or entire albums, and it will be charged to a credit card. And as you can see, it's powered by 7 Digital, which I've actually used and I really like it. Also, once you've downloaded it, then you can play them directly in the app here. Let's go back here. Reader's Hub is powered by 3 different applications. The first one is Press Display, and that's for news. The second one is Kobo, and that's for books. And the third one is Zinio, and that is for magazines. And you can see that these are separate from the market versions, and it uses Samsung apps to download the new versions. A little bit inconvenient considering that you don't get the option of replacing it with the app version, or with the market version rather. So if the market version is newer than the one in the Samsung App Store, then you're stuck, or you're going to have 2 of the same app if you want to use the newer version. That applies to Zinio and Kobo the most, because those are updated quite often. So now we can go in here, books will be updated, use the Samsung apps to update, and there you go. You can see how quickly that app installed. That's due to the fact that this processor inside of here is blazing fast. Really, really nice overall performance on here. And overall, I really just like the experience. The one thing I will say is it's a little bit disappointing that the resolution is not higher, considering that this 4.3-inch screen is so beautiful. Colors are very vibrant, and overall contrast, white levels are excellent. And the one thing that I think is missing from here is a higher resolution display. That is obviously coming in future versions of this phone, but for now, the upgrade, even though the screen is better than the Super AMOLED display on the Samsung Galaxy S, this is still a little bit disappointing. So that's just been a quick look at the Samsung Galaxy S2 coming to Bell in a week or so for $169.95 on a 3-year term, and $599.95 without a term. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye-bye.